Female fencer takes a knee to trans opponent. All right. Let's see what's going on here. This story's going viral.
Be interested in a female fencer stands up for fairness in women's sports. She did it by taking a knee and refusing to compete against a biological male at a tournament over the weekend. The referee's response, a black card, the sport's most severe penalty, which means expulsion from the tournament. Let's bring in the athlete at the center of it all, Stephanie Turner. And Stephanie, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, first of all, I understand why she would take the knee and refuse to compete. Men are stronger, faster, and we also have better hand-eye coordination overall and reflexes. Why subject yourself to an unfair competition? I get it. A lot of women out there feel unheard about this situation, and it looks like they're still doing it. I could have swore, didn't Trump just sign something to stop all this?
Oh, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So this was an Olympic qualifying event. My understanding of it is. This was something that you had prepared all your life for. It wasn't an Olympic qualifying event? I'm sorry. I had heard that this morning.
No, it wasn't.
It was an important event, though. And this is something that you've been preparing for
a
long time. You decided that you were going to take yourself out of the tournament. What was the thinking in leading up to the decision where you took a knee?
Right. So this was actually a regional tournament held by the USFA at the University of Maryland.
Okay.
So part of my pre-competition ritual is to check the online registration to see who...
You know, it's interesting. The person she took the knee to looks like this girl that used to go to a gym that I frequent. And the girl that this person looks like is on steroids, which is kind of interesting.
Who is going to be there and just double check my
clearly
times.
You've seen her.
And on the registration list, I saw Redmond Sullivan's name listed there, and I recognized this individual from a previous Redux article that had been written saying that this person was a man who had previously competed on the men's team at Wagner and was now competing as a woman within the USFA.
Okay.
So from that point, I just got really disappointed with the USFA and with this tournament, and I just felt like at a loss. I'd already committed so much money to it and training hours, and I was literally looking forward to this. I do this tournament every year.
Yeah.
I think this may be like my 10th year in a row doing this tournament. And I just got really sad and I started crying because this was like the last thing I wanted to deal with in my competition.
So at one point in the video, we see you take a knee, and then the official comes over. What did you say to him?
He trying like, yo, let's get to the story. Like, what happened?
So the official came over to me and asked if I was still refusing to fence, and I said yes. Oh, and are you talking about initially,
yes,
or when I got the black card?
No, initially.
Initially, I told them that I was refusing to fence because this person is a man and I am a woman, and this is a women's tournament, and I refuse to fence on principle.
And then later, right after this, we see your opponent comes over. What did you say to your opponent at that point?
My opponent was a little bit confused, thinking that I was maybe hurt, and I said, no, I am refusing to fence you because I'm a woman and you are a man. I have much love and respect for you, but I will not compete against you.
But it's not fair.
Wow.
Right.
And
So
he responded, okay, well, there's a, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm sorry, what was his response?
His response was, okay, but there's a member of the board of directors here, and he supports me, and...
Doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that people support in this world that aren't fair. There's a lot of things that people support, correct? right? Unborn children that are killed every day. That's not fair, right? It's not fair to that child, but people support it, right? People fight for their right to kill their unborn children, correct? All right. Then.
There's a policy that says that I'm a woman and I'm allowed to compete in the women's tournament, and if you do this, you're going to get black carded. And I said, I know.
So here's what USA Fencing said in a statement to Fox News Digital. USA Fencing enacted our current transgender and non-binary athlete policy in 2023. The policy was designed to expand access to the sport of fencing and create inclusive, safe spaces. It goes on to talk more.
Inclusive, but not safe. You know what I'm saying? Because plenty of women can get hurt in competitions with men. They get hurt in competitions with themselves. But when you're in competition with men, the injuries and the hurt and the pain can be much more severe. And so can the losses. You know what I mean? Because men, the majority of us just have so much physical advantages over women in athletics that, it's just clearly not fair. You know what I'm saying?
But this idea about inclusive, safe spaces, what about inclusive, safe spaces for female athletes?
Right. There's nothing for me and there's everything for him, because I have no choice as a woman, as a female, in where I compete. I am a woman and I have an athletic disadvantage to men, so I compete in the women's division,
Right.
which is where I rightfully am.
Right.
But he has been given this opportunity to fence in the women's division, and he can easily compete in the men's division. He can also compete at mixed events in local tournaments if he wants. There is a place for him. So the idea
there's mixed tournaments. Oh, okay. See, now that's different.
Creating, they're expanding. The women's is just essentially making it an open tournament that can include men. And
So that's interesting. I'm trying to think of different sports where there's mixed competition. I can't think of anything offhand other than marathons. I've seen people marathon. They start running, and it's everybody. It's men, women, everybody's running. That's interesting. Mixed competitions. What other sports have mixed competitions? And now I see that fencing does, but what else? I've never seen a mixed basketball game, football game, baseball game. Help me out, folks.
It ends up hurting me and other girls.
So you've got the support of Riley Gaines, who was on our network earlier today, and former tennis star Martina Navratilova, who put this out on X. She said, this is what happens when...
Well, how many times he practiced that name to get it right?
Female athletes protest. Anyone here still think this is fair? I am fuming.
Navratilova.
And shame on USA Fencing. Shame on you for doing this. How dare you throw women under the gender BS bus? I mean, this doesn't come at the expense of male athletes. We don't see this in the flip side of the coin.
Right.
This all comes at the expense of female athletes like yourself, like Riley Gaines, like the girls who lost that race by 7 seconds in Oregon, like the girls who lost the pole vault event in Maine. I mean, this is happening across the country,
right.
And to a large degree, women support this.
That's the wild part, ain't it?
Right, it's happening in every sport and at every level, and there's really no option to go around this when there are extremists who take up positions within the authoritative body of the USFA. So I have very little option other than being forced to fence. And I have gone down other pathways, like back in 2023 Summer Nationals. I just didn't sign up to fence in the Div 1A women's foil because there was another transgender person that I'd recognized in that tournament. So, I mean, I've avoided it as much as I can, but at what point do I have to just avoid all tournaments altogether because there's going to be somebody who's trans there?
Yeah.
It's a tough choice. As you point out, your opponent had two choices: could compete as biological male or could compete in the women's. You have the choice of competing in the women's. So, Stephanie, thank you for telling your story. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
My. Well, let me know what you all think about this. I think we should get back to making things fair again. Make sports fair again. Protect our women. It is what it is. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this situation. If you have any more details, let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video. 10 million subscribers. Woo!